Any chance we'll take it. Read us any rules we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. Nothing's gonna hold us back now. Straight ahead and on the track now. Gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way.
Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Wynn here with what I think is our final episode on the inks for Hammerella. I've adjusted the camera. Got a wider shot here. I have to keep my ugly mug out of frame. Figuring out, this is where I figure out my distance. Okay, I can't put my face past here. Alright. So, as you can see, I already started some of the black smoke. I wanted to, off camera, I wanted to get a sense and a feel of what I was going to be doing. And then I can show you how we're doing it. So usually we do a warm-up, but we're not always going to do that. Tonight we're just going to get going with our Raphael 8404 size 2. We might hit up a bigger brush to fill in some areas. Looks like I forgot to grab it. Nope, here we go. I've also got a size 4 here. Let's get in frame, sorry. Size 4, and I'll use that for some of these bigger areas. But we're going to do those after. So, brush is wet. Loading up the brush with a lot of ink now, but we're still not going to dip past halfway or 2/3. Sorry, I'm off frame again. We're still not going to dip past 2/3 halfway. But we're not going to worry about getting a nice sharp tip because we want to do big old circles. Or big old round shapes. These aren't circles, more ellipses, but almost like you're scribbling in with the side of the pencil. You can see how I've got the brush positioned here. And I'm calling this stuff thunder smoke. Something I think she calls forth, and it flies into her hammer and sort of charges her hammer up. It's a fun way to develop a character, just to play with an illustration and let the ideas come to you. Because in the last episode I was saying that I had imagined this sort of black smoke behind her, or black smoke as being just behind her in the distance. And then I had drawn it so it kind of came close to this hammer, and it kind of looked like it was flying into the hammer, and then the energy coming out this side of the hammer. So I went in and added some energy, and I turned this a little bit. It was over here. I turned it a little bit to go into there, and then I came up with the idea that, it's something that she calls forth to give her hammer some sort of boost. And we're going to have it go right up against those energy bursts. Create a contrast with the white and black. We're not going to break up the clouds around there. I'm not going to come back in with splatter later. This is all really wet, so we want to make sure we avoid that. But yeah, I'm just being very loose with the brush. You'll notice I'm doing circles with my fingers, sort of like this, for medium-sized ones, and for bigger chunks. Let's see, let's do a bigger chunk. Really get the brush loaded up here. I'll get a little of the hand involved like that. Or I guess that's more elbow. So these medium ones, a little bit of wrist. Small ones I'm doing mostly fingers. And then the big ones, you're doing a little bit of elbow work. Normally I won't go that big with this brush. I probably won't do it again today. We'll save bigger spots for that big brush. But we can use the number 2 in here. Again, we're gonna butt up the black smoke right up against the energy bursting out so that it creates more of a contrast. Right, and again, I'm working sort of quickly and crudely. This is for demo, so I'm not worried about being super precise. I tend to have more fun when I'm being like that anyways. And I tend to like the final product more. All right, let's take a look. All of that super wet ink. This is all dry, so we can spin it back around this way. And like I said, we want to do the big spots with the big brush. So we'll just go in, use our regular size brush to butt up against that energy, and then we'll leave the rest of that for when we load up our big brush. I'm going to swing around here. Get this bad boy. Totally thrown off by the camera being in a new place. So we'll do all the chunky parts of the clouds, and then we'll come in and do these bleeds that sort of hint at the motion of it swirling around and up into her hammer. All right, just like up top with the energy burst, we're gonna have the black butt up right against her. I had done some bleeds in the pencils, but all that does is sort of creates like a distortion that'll draw your eye to it. And this way it'll just be a nice contrast of sort of a white chunk against a black chunk. Let's keep this brush loaded up. You know what? We're getting into everything's bigger territory. I think we can just go for the bigger brush now. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna wash this one off. The old water jar. I'm gonna load up the size 4. Now a lot of people like a Winsor & Newton brush. They do a good brush. They're Series 7 sable hair. I happen to just love the Raphaels. I've had more consistent quality with them from brush to brush. I like to buy brushes in person, but if I don't, I've probably in 15 years probably only had a bad couple Raphael brushes through the mail. All right, we're gonna load this brush up and really lay on some heavy black here. And it's okay if there's gaps in between the sort of circular shapes. It sort of adds a little bit of a texture to it. But you want to keep everything in the same motion and momentum. Like I'm not going to go in here and fill this thing black, like going perpendicular or parallel to the paper lines. I'm going to keep it all, oops, getting off frame again. I'm going to keep it all these circular shapes and keep them in motion like this. We'll do some bleeds up into there. I haven't used a big brush like this in a while. Look at that. Bam. Biggity bam bam, biggity biggity bam bam. Thunder smoke. So she'll be whooping ass, kicking butt, and then out of nowhere, she'll need help, she'll be in trouble, she'll yell thunder smoke, and this black smoke will whoosh, come out of nowhere and go into her hammer and give her a bunch of extra powers. I might have to pause the video or do a second video or something, because this is going to need time to dry before we can do the bleeds. I am here live in the chat if you're watching this at any of the premieres. I schedule these and sort of treat it like it's live, but you can, excuse me. Anyways, you can ask me any questions during it, and I will try to answer it. All right, we are going to pause, take a break, and let all that dry. And then I think we can zoom in a little to do these bleeds. That'll be a good time. All right, final part of our video here. We're going right into it. So when I do bleeds like this, or here, maybe I should explain a little better. So we've got these swirling smoky clouds around Hammerella that are flying into what I think now I'm going to call I think now the hammer's name is going to be thunder smoke. And she yells that out, and this black smoke swirls around, goes into the hammer, charges it up. That's what I think is going to happen. So we've done these poofy black clouds. They're swirling around. Let's see, these ones they're going this way. So they're having a blur effect come off them. So we're going to make sure the brush has got plenty of ink on it. Don't dip. It's dark right now because it's all wet and stuff, but try not to dip past 2/3 on the brush. Make sure it's got a little bit of a point going on. Now we have this round shape, and we're going to kind of mimic that round shape. You see that in the bleeds? Now I keep my bleeds pretty loose, so they are more of a trajectory to follow. And we're doing fat bleeds. This is what you call fat bleeds in the industry. The fat bleeds always follow the form of whatever piece of cloud or smoke or whatever. So we're going to round this guy out more. Fill that in black. Get in frame. Throw some fat bleeds. And you'll see my hand is resting here. I pull back and then do the bleed. All right, we're going to avoid that wet spot there. This is one of the funnest parts of inking, is doing fat bleeds. Let's see, this one we're going to break a little bit. And I want to solidify by her leg down there. All right, doing fat bleeds, you do use up ink rather quickly. So you got to reload constantly. All right, here we go. Do some short ones there. Oh, see, now this is what I can't do those. I should have done those first. Just like now, I can't do that. I should have followed that pattern. Oh well. So we're gonna have some that are like cloud shapes that aren't necessarily blur effects or sort of renderings in the cloud, like these here. But then next to that, we're gonna have some fat bleeds. And those will bring motion and a little bit of kinetic energy to the piece. So let's see, we're going to do some breaking up into the hammer here. You'll recognize the diamond shape line that I'm doing from all of our warm-ups. All right, this is all wet. We're going to go up to the top up here now. We're going to be smarter on this half of the page and work our way in, work our way out, and then in. Adjust the camera, and here we go. So again, we always want to kind of follow the shape of the cloud or the black shape that we're leading into, even if that's musculature. Sometimes that's kind of how you want to do it. Here we're going to fade out a little. You know what, I almost did the same mistake as the other one before. We're going to do all our outer ones first. We'll get them fatter as we go. We'll keep that curve going that we've got. There we go. And then we're going to rotate, stay on the right path. I've been wanting to get to these lines for a week now. And they go so quick. It's kind of a bummer. Oh, was I off frame there? I'm sorry. Here we go. But I am going to be doing more Hammerella pieces. Oh man, the air conditioning just kicked on. It means it's getting warm here. I am going to be doing some more Hammerella pieces. And especially now that I have the cool name like Thundersmoke for her hammer. All right, we did those outside lines, now we're going in. Now that I have a cool name like that, and I have her color scheme figured out, which is going to be yellow. If you're watching all my videos, you saw that in the, I think it was a video or two before this. It was a running laps episode, and I was coloring a sketch cover that had Hammerella, Jimmy, and Death Betty on it. Ah, see, I should have done that after this, but I can sneak in here. There we go. Man, that's it for our bleeds. I'm gonna put the pencil or the page holder up. I think that's what that click was. We'll pull back a little. All right, so other than going in and doing a little bit of cleanup here and there, we are done. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. The first Hammerella illustration. We got to learn a lot about brush inks. Got to learn a lot about this character that we're developing and her hammer, which I'm pretty sure the hammer is going to be called Thundersmoke now. All right, so next week we're going to be talking tools. I'm going to figure out something else cool to ink, and we're going to have some fun videos and some other running laps episodes that we're going to go through. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take it easy. And if you haven't already, head over to alternaaccess.com and check out the book I wrote, Gods and Gears, with art by Dean Kotz and letters by Wes Loker. Issue 4 is out soon.
Stupid cat.